Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got a pretty interesting combo to run. It's definitely more on the budget oriented side of it, because everything is more expensive this year, especially TSS shells, but even lead shells and turkey chokes and all of that are more expensive. So I want to see what this basic budget combo might be able to do, because I think it has a chance to be a pretty solid performer. But first up, for the shells that we're going to run, I brought out some more of the Winchester Super X turkey loads. These are about as basic as you can get when it comes to turkey loads. They're kind of one step above your basic field loads, but they usually are pretty decent or pretty average patterning shells. But these ones are a 12 gauge 3-inch 1 7/8 ounce payload of lead 5s moving at about 12-10 feet per second. We've tested these several times with some decent results. They're not Winchester Longbeard XR territory, but when you can get a 10 round box of these for like $11.99, they're definitely a more budget oriented option that are plenty capable of taking turkeys. But for the setup we're running them in, I brought out my old Mossberg 500. This one's got a 28-inch barrel on it, and we're going to be running a Primos Tight Wad choke. It's a 660 constriction. And these Primos Tight Wads are absolutely a budget level cheaper choke, but they're usually some pretty nice performers as well. I think I paid $21 for this choke. You can find them for a little cheaper, you can find them for a little bit more, but generally they're between $18 and $28, depending on your choke threads and stuff like that. So we've definitely got a budget combination here, and I'm really curious to see how it does. You got a $20 choke with some $12 shells. How capable is it in your typical turkey patterning situation here? We're gonna find out. So for today's test, we're running it the same as usual. I've got the turkey target set up down there at 40 yards and the chrono so we can get our velocity. So we'll get you guys a view of that target. We'll take our shot and we'll see what this budget shell and choke combo is capable of. There's nothing fancy going on here, so how good is it? Or how good can it potentially be? Let's take our shot and see what we get. Alright, that shell gave us 1285 through the chrono. Boss claim is 1210. We have a 28-inch barrel with a little bit of choke out of the end, so we are a little bit over that number, but usually mid-1200s or so is what we get from these Super X shells. So we're not too far off, and obviously that's plenty enough velocity for a lead 5. Well, let's head down there to 40 yards and see how this more budget-oriented combo actually was able to pattern. Okay, now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and we see a really nice pattern here, for sure. We might have favored just a hair high, maybe. Could have been me, potentially, or it could just be that particular choke combo. That's the first time we've tested that particular choke, but either way, absolutely still a dead turkey at 40 yards. We've got 4 or 5 through the brain, and another 1 or 2 down the spine, and if we center that up just a little bit better, then yeah, he would absolutely be covered in pellets, no question about it. There wouldn't be anywhere for him to go at all. That's a very nice hot core area. Might not be Longbeard XR type of pattern, but it's a nice hot even area of pellets right around that bird's head. There might be a little bit of a void up in the top right corner and the top left corner of that turkey target, but they're not detrimental to the pattern at all. And what we see right there on the screen, you can't argue with that for a basic budget combination of a lead shell and a 12 gauge. That's a $12 box of shells with a $20 choke tube out of a basic Mossberg 500. There's not ever going to be a turkey that makes it through that kind of combination at 40 yards. You're going to hammer them every time. As long as you have that bead or that red dot where it needs to be, the turkey is going down right where he stands. Now around the edges, it's not perfect. We did throw a couple flyers down here low and maybe string a couple little pellets around the edge and the top up here. So it's not 100% perfect, but you can't really complain too much about that kind of performance. I wouldn't hesitate to run that combo out there in the turkey woods. For somebody that prefers both a little cheaper shell and maybe a touch more leeway, but wants to run a 12 gauge lead shell, the Longbeards are always about the best there is. But this might be really appealing to the vast majority of average turkey hunters that don't have $100 to spend on 5 TSS shells. Yeah, the TSS shells are going to light the paper up and they're going to be plenty effective for the turkey, but I don't think the turkey's going to know the difference between having a handful of lead pellets and a handful of TSS pellets going right through them at 40 yards. That bird's going to be dead either way. So honestly, very nice pattern. I thought we would see a pretty decent spread, but it might even be a little bit better than what I thought we would see. I figured we'd have a little bit more open of a spread than that, but it honestly condensed gets it down pretty well. So you can't complain about that. Sure, you throw a couple flyers around the edges, but you've got a great core to work with. So I'm really curious to see what would happen if we put some double X shells in that choke or some longbeard shells through that choke. Because if we're already getting this kind of pattern with just the basic Super X loads, in theory, we should get some very nasty results with a little bit better quality lead shells and probably TSS loads as well. That could be a nasty performer there. Either way you look at it though, very nice performance. No real complaints from me. The edges might not be perfect, but when you've got a performer like that for the price, I don't think you can argue with it. That's going to be a hammer on a turkey all day long, and I wouldn't be scared to run it. I wouldn't be embarrassed to run it either, because your budget combo is going to perform just as well as somebody else's $2,000 shotgun with a $150 choke tube, shooting $15 around TSS shells. Turkey ain't going to know the difference, so you can't argue with that kind of performance. And here's the wad out of that shell. Very basic Winchester equipment. It's the same thing they use in a variety of their turkey shells. Nothing out of the ordinary to see, nothing stuck down in there, no major damage or anything like that. These are a buffered and copper plated payload, so that definitely helps as well. Overall, I think it did about what it was supposed to do. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that result right there? I expected to see a decent pattern out of that combo, judging by our previous testing with other tight wads and other times we've ran those shells. But man, that's a really solid turkey pattern. For a basic, more budget-oriented lead load and a cheap choke, you really can't argue with that. These shells aren't any kind of fancy loading, yet somehow the vast majority of other companies out there putting lead shells out just can't seem to get the formula right. It's a copper-plated, buffered load in a very average wad, moving at a very average velocity. Yet somehow, these are going to be better than the Federal Grand Slams. They're definitely going to be better than any of the Remington shells, especially the nitro turkeys. Even the new Verdict Juror lead loads that are supposed to be a hand-loaded lead load that patterns well, that combo right there would beat anything we've seen from those shells as well. So I don't know what magic Winchester has come up with, even with their basic stuff, because the longbeard shells I can understand with the type of buffer they use, but you just can't complain about a simple, basic, cheap, budget-oriented combo that patterns like that. There ain't no shame taking that combo out in the woods, that's for sure. But leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of those Super X 5s or put them through one of those tight wads in a Mossberg 500? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from them? Is that a pattern or a combo you would hunt with? Would you prefer to see a little tighter, a little hotter core like a longbeard shell? Or is that about exactly what you're looking to see in a budget option? And what other shells and choke combos do you want to see with either those Super X loads, or what shells do you want to see us run in that tight wad? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.